Hi, I'm back and with a very Unchops-esque purchase. I have just bought this 2013 Mercedes 350 SL from a customer who came by. So this is you might need a cup of tea. This is a bit of a complicated story to a certain extent. But before we get into that story, it's time to introduce the sponsor of today's video, the OG sponsor of Chops Garage, Surfshark. Surfshark provides you with a VPN, a virtual private network. That VPN gives you a secure internet connection whilst you're online, protecting you and your data. In addition to that, it allows you to access geo-locked content when on streaming services. What do I mean by geo-locked content? Well, let me show you this example. Here I am on Netflix, and let's say I want to settle down and watch the First World War movie, 1917. Do a search for that movie and it is not available to me. That is not available for me to watch in the UK. And that's because streaming services limit the series and movies that you can watch based on your location. Now, if I go up to my Surfshark, I can resolve that by looking for a country where that movie is available. And I know, for example, it is available in the Netherlands. If I click a button there, Surfshark fools Netflix into thinking I'm in the Netherlands. So if I do that search again, the movie 1917 becomes available for me to watch. And as I said, this will work on a range of streaming services, allowing you to access loads of content you wouldn't normally be able to. As always, Surfshark are giving Chops Garage viewers an exclusive special offer. If you use the promo code CHOPS, you'll get up to 6 months extra free. That does only last to the end of January, so you do need to hurry. So enter the promo code CHOPS and get up to 6 months extra free. There's a link in the video description down below, straight through to that offer. I want to thank Surfshark for being a continued sponsor of Chops Garage. So what happened was, customer came and bought my orange Suzuki Swift, and she wanted to part exchange her Freelander. Now her Freelander, it was pretty much worth about £6,000 in part exchange. But I had the Suzuki Swift up for 6,495. Now I looked at the figures and I said, as an existing customer, she's had 3 or 4 cars off me, and I think it's 3 cars off me she's had. I said, as an existing customer, it being an automatic Freelander, I thought, okay, well, I'll be able to get a little bit more for the Freelander, possibly retail the Freelander, get my money back out of it that way and do her a good deal. So I went ahead and said, okay, I will give you 6.5 for the Freelander and my car's 6.5. So I've overallowed you 500 in your Freelander, and you won't have to put any money down because you want to downsize to a cheaper car. And these in North Devon, these are in demand, automatic Freelanders, especially in this spec. It's a nice spec. It's 2014. It's done 114,000 miles, but people don't tend to mind that so much on the Freelanders. It does have a full service history, and it's in really nice condition. So I thought, yeah, I'll let her have the over allowance on it. But then she got me good and proper, because she showed me a screenshot from my Facebook page where I put cars up when they're first coming into stock. And I put up on the Facebook page that the Swift would be 5,995 when it came into stock. When I actually got the car into stock and ran it through Auto Trader, it turned out its retail value was about 6,800 because it only had like 30,000 miles on it. And I thought, I'm still under the Auto Trader by a good amount, so someone's still getting a good deal. And I thought, okay, that's the way to go. But obviously, like I say, so I assumed we were negotiating at 6,495, and I guess she assumed she was negotiating at 5,995. I overlay £500 on her car. I end up owing her £500 on the Freelander. Now, to make matters even more complex, while we were having the conversation, her partner was saying how, unfortunately, due to personal circumstances, and it is pretty sad personal circumstances, he would like to get out of his Mercedes SL. The idea being that he, unfortunately, I say he's got quite a serious illness, that he would be able to put the money in the bank and leave it behind for family, for his partner, rather than them have to deal with the sale of the car later on, which obviously is not a nice way to get your hands on the car at all. But unfortunately, it is all too often the case. You do hear about it quite a bit. Had several cars come in for that kind of reason. I've had lots of people downsizing cars for that reason, which, you know, fair play to them, trying to leave things behind for their family in as best state as they can. But yeah, he was obviously very gutted about doing it because it is a beautiful car. So in the meantime, at the same time, I was trying to give him a price on this, and I didn't really know where to go. I looked up a few prices here and there, and me being me, I look up pricing, I'm over generous with the pricing, I don't check it all carefully enough. And the long and short of it is I end up offering him over £500 more than the car's cap value. So cap is the system that universally dealers use to value part exchange prices for cars. I don't actually have it myself. It costs quite a lot of money, and I find that between checking what We Buy Any Car will give for a car and what Auto Trader retail is, I'm normally pretty right. Well, obviously this kind of stuff's had a lot of movement recently in values. So long and short of it, as I said, is I end up over allowing over £500 against cap. Now, why does that matter? Because if I knew what the retail value was, the car was, so I knew there was margin in it to retail it, but the issue with that was I wasn't going to retail the car. It was just, you know, trade it straight out to a dealer and just help the guy out by moving the car on. I had an idea of who might buy the car straight off of me, so that was the idea on that. And then obviously, like I say, try and make back the 500 I lost, I gave away on that one, over allowed on that one, which ended up being £1,000 over allowance if you look at it on the fact that I was selling the car for 6,495, not 5,995. Make that back by retailing the Freelander. Well, when I then found out and started obviously asking about, because I should have really got this underwritten before I took it in, but I didn't. When I started asking around, dealers wouldn't give me the money I needed for this car. I said I was about 500 over, so I needed to sort of come down about 500 on that one to balance it all out. So what's happened is the ladies left in the end with all the money for the Mercedes SL. So I've paid out for that, and I've ended up giving her 500 quid for that. So I've left myself in a situation where my car has gone out the door. I can't get any profit out of it until I sell these two cars, and I haven't really got an opportunity to make anything on these two cars by simply trading them out because they didn't have enough margin in the first place. So I've really made a bit of a hash of the deal, and I needed to slow it down, take a step back and look at exactly what I was doing. And although the circumstances were tough on this car, I needed to take a sensible pill and say, well, to be honest, it's not for me, or get it underwritten before I made an offer on it. But all these things are easily said and done, but when it's in the heat of the moment, you're trying to do deals and trying to do it on the fly a little bit, mistakes happen. So what have we ended up with? We have ended up with, like I say, you've had a look at the 2014 Freelander. We've ended up with this 2014 Mercedes 350 SL on a 2013. It's only covered, what do I want to say, 54,000 miles, is it? We'll have a look inside in a second. What I will say for the car is, in terms of moving it on, there is no prep for the next dealer because the customer has kept it absolutely immaculate. It was his baby. He never took it out of the garage unless the weather was good. So he's going to be crying probably if he sees it out in this kind of weather. He never took it out unless the weather was good. He really did look after it. He's got a full service history on it. Obviously, he took quite a big hit on it because he bought it retail about 2 years ago, and obviously this kind of stuff has really taken a hit recently, the big stuff. I said in my last video that small cars were doing really well at the auction, and someone said, oh James, you say prices are up and then you say prices are down. No, it's the small cars, the prices have continuously been up, but this big stuff has taken a really big hit recently. Cost of living, I guess, finance, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's the right colour. This metallic grey with the black wheels looks absolutely bang on. The bodywork is mint. There is not a scrape or a scratch on it that needs doing at all in terms of prep for retail. None of the alloys are curbed at all. They're all absolutely bang on. Front end doesn't have any stone chipping on it. Like I say, the wheels are all absolutely bang on. It's beautiful looking, and the interior really is gorgeous as well. So we've got the all the electric buttons up here for the seats and the memory and all that kind of stuff. All the stitching and the piping along there is gorgeous. The seats are immaculate. It's obviously automatic like the Mercs are. Has the foldable hard top on it. This has got the air scarves that blow into your neck and keep you warm while you're driving around. It's got all this stuff you'd expect to have: the cruise control, the Bluetooth, the sat nav. It's got the paddle shifts up here. I don't know if they're aftermarket or whether they came with the car. Maybe somebody knows. 54,000 miles and 4. Like I said, it's all brand new in here. So if I was going to retail it, there really wasn't any prep. But like I say, the retail value on it is about £20,000. But with having the money tied up in the 2 cars, do I really want something like this sitting around this time of year with that kind of price tag on? I think that would be the most expensive car that Chops Garage ever did. I'll be led by your comments. Do you think whether I would have been able to sell it or not? This 350 is the baby of the bunch, isn't it? Because this is the, I don't know if they did a smaller engine or not. It's 300 horsepower still, and 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds. It's got about 270 foot-pound of torque, I think it is. And it's certainly, I've driven it, obviously before I bought it, I did drive it. It drives absolutely beautiful. Surprising thing is they'll do like flipping 35 miles to the gallon as well. These well, called later, aren't they? Obviously it's still an old car, 2013, I guess it's still a fairly old car. But they do decent MPG. This is a time when they could put AMG on anything. It was just a badging option. So this is an AMG, but it's not an AMG in what I would consider the traditional sense, where it's got the biggest engine with the highest horsepower. It just became a styling badge, didn't it, for Mercedes AMG after a little while. But it's still, like I said, absolutely stunning car in fantastic condition. And we've got the dealer coming around a bit, and I'm just hoping I can get a little bit more money out of him to cover my costs. And I've also got a dealer coming round for the Freelander, so I basically need to get the top sort of trade money for these cars that I can. I'm not going to be making anything out of it, but I need to get the top money from other traders I can, just to break even and make sure that I end up with all of my profit out of the Suzuki Swift I sold. So we'll touch base in a little while and see how we get on with that. So massive shout out to our subscriber Philip, who is a subscriber who's just sold me his daughter's Dacia Logan. She didn't know it was going on. She did just sell the car from under. She was looking to sell it. She was up in Wales, and he went and picked the car up, bless him, brought it back down here again and got it all cleaned up ready for resale. He's done some lovely stuff to make it a little bit better. It's a Logan MCV. I've done a couple of these now, haven't I? They're really good value estates, these. Has the fantastic 1.5 diesel Renault engine, which I really like. But yeah, he went through and cleaned the car over. He even did things like wire brush down the rear drums and painted them up. And did the same on the front calipers, just to tidy it all up. Took some real pride in it. So massive thanks to him for that. It's a really clean car. There's a couple of little marks. There's just one very small one on the edge of the bumper there, and I think a very light one down here on the bumper. He pointed both of these out to me. To be honest, I wouldn't have noticed this one down here. Yeah, just a tiny little bit down there. But other than that, he's super clean. Again, I just cannot thank subscribers enough who get in touch with me when they're looking to sell their cars. Obviously, it only really works when you're fairly local, because the transport costs alone from up country mean that I'm going to be less than your local, probably we buying a car or whatever. But I really do appreciate people getting in touch, especially with nice stock. I saw the alloys are in good condition. Obviously these can be quite budget, where everything like the wing mirrors are totally black and the bumpers are black, but this is a nicely specced out one. The interior, it's got I like the matching blue on the seats. I'm a big fan of these. I've said it before, I am a big fan of these. I think if you're not somebody who's looking, if you're not a driver and you're not looking for fantastic handling and blah 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 blah, you're just looking for good value transport. My brother had one of these for ages. You can't beat them. They really are good value. I'd say this one, especially if you get one where the spec isn't too low on this one. Let's have a look at the boot. The boot is absolutely huge on these. I don't have a lot to do on this retail wise. I forget how long the MOT is, but she's had her boot liner in there. All the carpets are nice condition, but yeah, light, sort yourself out. The I have got a new camera on the way. The seats, when the seats fold flat, you end up with a boot like a Volvo V70. They're absolutely huge. Yeah, inside, mileage is nice as well. Mileage is only 59,000, I think the mileage flashed up as then. Yeah, 59,000. So mileage is good. It's got the later little touch screen on it as well. And what's this? Is this the cruise control on these? I think it might be, I'm not sure. We've got, yeah, we've got the cruise control, yeah. Cruise control. And these have the auxiliary input as well. I don't know if your stereo But I don't think you need it because you've got the Bluetooth up here, haven't you? Yeah, so you can play Bluetooth media on these as well. And it's got the nav, it's got the sat nav. So yeah, it's a proper spec'd out one. So yeah, it doesn't need a lot. I can't, like I say, I can't remember MOT wise. I might need to be sticking a new MOT on it, but other than that, it's pretty much ready to go. I don't think I'm going to be spending a load of time doing paint on it. I think these, it's really about price on these. You want to keep the price down. They're not a car that someone goes looking for. Really, they're the kind of car you have in stock, and when someone comes by who's been recommended, or they're looking at something else you've got sort of and they want a bit of room, then you point them to these, get them to have a go, and then they always come back and like them. Like I say, with the 1 litre petrols they can be a bit but with the 1.5 diesel you've got 225 foot-pound of torque. They really pull away well. I think that's one is just to wet sand that and just tidy it up a bit. I don't think we want to put any money in. Like I said, we want to try and keep it a nice low cost car for somebody, and I need cars that I can quickly flip at the moment because I've got a lot of stuff that needs work. So the Mercedes has gone. My mate had it, the trader. He does supercars. He does, you know, stuff over £100,000. He's got a new showroom being put together. I wanted some stock to fill that new glass showroom up with. This will probably be, that will probably be at the lower end of his market, but it will fit in absolutely bang on. But he did me another solid. He bought me along this Mercedes. He had this as a part exchange against one of his cars. It's a local car to him. He knows it. He's been servicing, looking after it, that kind of thing. And he said, do you want to have the Mercedes? He said, will that suit you retail wise? So that is absolutely fantastic, because not only has he got me out of the Mercedes, the SL, he's given me another piece of stock. Now you might think, why would I retail this and not have retailed the Freelander? Because we've got Ferrari coming to pick up the Freelander later on. Well, this has only covered 53,000 miles on a 2014. It's an automatic again, and obviously as an estate automatic Mercedes with that mileage on, this is going to be a bit more saleable for me. I thought this will probably fly out the door. It's white, which is the right colour for these. Bodywork wise, it's got a tiny little touch in just there on the bumper, but other than that, the bodywork is really good. There's some minor oxidisation on the centre caps around the alloys, but you wouldn't really do that. It is in really nice nick. Inside is lovely. We've got the white stitched interior with the Alcantara on it, on the seats. All round Lecky windows, of course, electric mirrors. Yeah, 56,000 miles, sorry, 56,620. The interior is immaculate on it. It's got a very slight whiff of dog on it, but that's nothing we can't sort out. A lot of these are dog wagons, but the seats are absolutely immaculate on it. If we go into the boot, it is a power boot. I always have to resist the urge to hurry them along a bit though. So yeah, power boot. The carpets are in fantastic condition. There isn't really any dog hair in here, so I think he said that they had a mat in it. So there's a slight whiff, but it's not outrageous. Again, I was going to manually put that down then, wasn't I? Yeah, so they had a mat in it, which is why there's no hairs in it. Yeah, the interior is absolutely bang on. So the mileage is right. The spec and the colours right. It's got the 2.1 in it. So the 2.1 diesel, which is legendary for being a very tough unit as well, the 2.1. They'll do massive miles, won't they? I think I had comments before of people that have done 300,000 miles in these. Now we do have an airbag light, but that is since it was valeted this morning. It wasn't on when it was first picked up. The interior was valeted and the lights popped up on the dashboard. So we do need to get that sorted. We'll get the top done on that in a bit. Left, there we go, left front malfunction, that's the one. So we'll get that sorted out. Sat nav. So got cruise control on this one. I can't see, I don't know my Mercedes. Don't know if it has, but we've got obviously climate control. Yeah, Bluetooth for your phone. Let's see how it starts. Got parking sensors up there. Starts on the button nicely. That sounds really nice. Panoramic roof as well, which is nice, isn't it? So yeah, it did me a solid bringing that piece of stock as well. So having a bit of a black book of dealer contacts has really saved my hide here today. As you can see, this has been a prime example how not to do business if you're doing car trading. Hopefully you've enjoyed the journey along. If you want to see more videos of poor decisions being made, then make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Costs you absolutely nothing, just notifies you when new videos come out. As you can see, looking around, we've got lots of new stuff about, so there's plenty of more content coming out soon. So massive thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Cheers everyone. Oh, quick after note, if any of you are interested in any of the cars you've seen today, so the Freelander's going to my friend Ferrari will be retailing Prep It. So if anybody's interested, let me know. I can get you his details. And the SL that is now obviously gone, I can give you the details of my dealer for that. Like I say, he does top end cars. If you are looking at an SL, you like the look of that, you got around 20 grand. I must say, I reckon that is probably the cleanest one in the country. That's absolutely mint. So well worth the journey if you have been looking for one of those. Anyway, thanks again. See you soon. Don't forget, we have the raffle live for you to win this 2016 Vauxhall Adam for just £1. I must admit at this point, having made a mistake on the previous video, it is a charity that I was notified as a local charity and I got the name wrong. It's Little Willow's Wish, not Willow's Wish. I did look up the wrong charity, unfortunately. The first charity I was talking about supports stillborn families who've suffered stillborn babies. This charity actually supports families that have children in hospital, Little Willow's Wish. So what I'll do is, some of you may have bought tickets on the basis that the donations were going to the stillborn charity. So what I'll do is still give them a donation, but I have to correct myself at this point. The charity going forwards is Little Willow's Wish. I looked up the wrong website. Little Willow's Wish supports families with children in hospital. It's another local small charity. It's in Broughton, just down the road. So a proportion of the proceeds will be going to them, but we will support the other charity as well. So yeah, it's this 2016 Vauxhall Adam. It's £1 per ticket. I'll put a link in the video description down below. And there is an alternative prize of £1,000 cash plus topped on diagnostics equipment and jump packs. And then what we'll do if someone chooses to have that instead is we will sell off the car, deduct the £1,000 from the proceeds and give the rest of the sale of the car to the charity as well. So as I said, a link is in the video description down below. Comes out with a new MOT. It's all freshly serviced, all ready to go. So as again, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.